At around that time, I also met, Terence McKenna.
Of course, yeah.
He turned me on to DMT for the first time. The main thrust of the experience was witnessing this waterfall of flaming colors, out of which emerged about a half dozen little creatures, like little grays, little gray
Oh, wow.
aliens. And they were maybe 50 yards away, 25 yards away, like in my mind's eye. And they were telepathically, drilling into my head. Now do you see? Now do you see?
Mhm.
Now do you see? Just over and over and over again. And I was just like slack-jawed.
Of course. Welcome back to the transmission, my friends. What if there is a hyper real yet hyper alien realm just beyond the horizon of our perception? Well, to quote the great Terence McKenna, and I'm really fighting the urge to overuse and abuse my Terence McKenna impression here. Is there an invisible nearby world inhabited by active intelligences with which human beings can communicate? You bet. And if you don't think so, tell me you don't think so after you've tried DMT. If you know what I'm talking about, Dr. Rick Strassman probably needs no introduction, but this man is a true trailblazer. He really is ahead of his time. He put his reputation on the line for what he believes in, for what he thought was right, for his calling. More specifically, he took a huge risk in the early 90s. He pushed for and eventually got clearance to do the first psychedelic studies in the United States in 20 years. Studies on DMT, no less. This led to him writing the now famous DMT, The Spirit Molecule, and to a fabulous documentary by the same name, which summarizes that research, shares the life-changing experiences of the participants in the study, along with some potential philosophical implications of it all. He's also the author of DMT and the Soul of Prophecy, and his latest, My Altered States, in which Rick gets really personal for the first time. And on that note, this is probably the best time to riff with Dr. Strassman, because he's just beyond caring. He really lets it fly at this point in his life. Dr. Strassman is a longtime associate professor of psychiatry at the University of New Mexico School of Medicine, but he's interested in a lot more than just the technical and medical aspects of this conversation. He's deeply philosophical, deeply spiritual. I don't want to gush, but it really is a huge honor to riff with Dr. Strassman. Let's just get into this one. All the links that you're going to need for him are in the description, including the link for his new book, My Altered States. Same for Third Eye Drops. My friends, tickle that algorithm. Like, sub, comment, share. It really means a lot. Did you know we've got hundreds of mind melds over on the audio feed with many brilliant beings, many on this topic, including at least one with Dr. Strassman. So do sub to Third Eye Drops wherever you listen to pods. And if you want to go deeper, if you personally want to riff with me and hundreds of other seekers, join a patron-only Discord server book club, participate in Zoom mind melds, receive rewards like stickers, pins, shirts, and more, then initiate yourself into our Wonder Lodge over at patreon.com/Third Eye Drops. I would truly love to riff with you there, but for now, presently, let's do so with the great Dr. Rick Strassman. Although it has been a long time since you and I spoke, 2016, as we were just saying, that's nothing in terms of how long you've been at this. And DMT itself it's been in the zeitgeist. It's been penetrating the zeitgeist, but I think lately it's really been having a reemergence in the last couple of years. And I think there's a few reasons for that. But for people that don't know, now the idea, let's say, of doing an experiment with DMT, an above board experiment, still novel, still interesting, still a little bit on the fringe. But compared to when you started, it was a completely unheard of, almost outlandish idea. And I was thinking back to the DMT, the spirit molecule studies, and I could not remember what it was that made you so drawn to it that you were willing to push and push and push to get those studies through, to get those studies signed off on. So will you just take me back to that time in your life and what it was that made you so committed to exploring the substance?
I think it went in stages. The first idea of studying